Some people aren't rejected because they're wrong. They're rejected because they're right too early. And nothing scares people more than the truth arriving before they're ready. You notice it in small moments. You start talking about something deeper than surface level life, and the room shifts. Eyes drop. Phones come out. Someone changes the subject, not because you said something absurd, but because you said something real. And reality makes people uncomfortable. So you begin shrinking yourself. You simplify your thoughts. You soften your words. You pretend you're less intense than you really are. Not out of humility, out of survival. Here's the hard truth no one tells you. The more aware you become, the less convenient you are to the world. Deep thinkers don't disturb others by speaking loudly. They disturb others just by existing, because your presence forces a silent question. Am I living on autopilot? Most people don't want that question, so they avoid you. And slowly, the danger isn't society rejecting you. It's you rejecting yourself just to belong. You trade clarity for acceptance, and that's the most expensive trade you can make. This space isn't for cheap motivation or pretty quotes. It's mental training, clarity, discipline, awareness. If you're serious about sharpening your mind instead of numbing it, subscribe. Not for me, for your own commitment to growth. Because from here on, we don't soften the truth. We face it. And first, you need to understand why thinking deeply hurts so much. Asterisk. This discomfort you feel isn't emotional weakness. It's biology. Your brain wasn't designed to seek truth. It was designed to survive in groups. For most of human history, being too different was dangerous. Questioning the tribe meant exclusion. Exclusion meant death. So your nervous system still treats social rejection like physical threat. When you express an idea that challenges someone's worldview, their brain reacts the same way it would to danger. Heart rate raises. Defensiveness kicks in. Logic shuts down. Not because they're stupid, not because their brain is protecting their identity. Strength doesn't threaten people. Money doesn't threaten people. But intelligence does. Because strength is external. Intelligence is personal. When you challenge someone's thinking, you're not attacking their opinion. You're shaking their sense of self. And the ego never negotiates. Defense. That's why deep thinkers often feel like mirrors. You don't even try to expose others, but your clarity reflects their limitations. And most people would rather break the mirror than look at themselves. So without realizing it, you start self-censoring, talking less, questioning less, pretending less depth. Little by little, you trade awareness for belonging. And that's where the real danger begins. Because what happens if you keep shrinking? Asterisk. Here's the silent mistake that destroys more brilliant minds than failure ever could. Adaptation. Not fighting back, not resisting. Just slowly adjusting until there's nothing left of you. At first, it feels harmless. You stay quiet to avoid tension. You laugh at shallow jokes. You nod along with ideas you don't even believe. It looks like maturity, but it's surrender. Every time you silence yourself to be accepted, you betray your own mind. Once hurts, twice stings, 100 times becomes your personality. And one day you wake up and realize something terrifying. You're no longer the curious, questioning, intense person you used to be. You're just functional, pleasant, productive, empty. You work, scroll, consume, sleep, repeat, not because you're incapable, but because you stopped daring to think. And there's something worse than loneliness. Wasted potential. Failing while trying is painful, but never trying at all. That corrodes your soul. A deep mind trapped in a shallow life feels like an eagle living in a cage, safe, fed, and miserable. If nothing changes, this is the future, not tragedy. Not collapse, does to lukewarm life. And for someone built for depth, lukewarm is unbearable. So now the real question appears, will you keep shrinking? Or will you face the discomfort of being fully yourself? Asterisk, the hardest battle isn't society, it's comfort. Comfort whispers, relax. Don't just enjoy
distractions. Stop being so intense. It sounds like rest, but it's decay. Thinking deeply takes energy. Discipline takes effort. Growth is slow and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, distraction is instant. Endless scrolling, short videos, noise, fast, dopamine. Your brain loves shortcuts. It always chooses pleasure now over meaning later. So every time you choose distraction over reflection, you weaken your mind, not dramatically, quietly. One small concession at a time, until your thoughts become shallow. By default, you confuse stimulation with learning. Information with wisdom. You know everything, but understand nothing. Modern life doesn't attack your intelligence directly. It numbs it. And once you lose tolerance for silence, you lose access to depth. And commies, the worst place to be, not shallow enough to fit in, not deep enough to create something meaningful, stuck in the middle, half asleep, half alive. This is the real battlefield. Not out there, inside you. Every day, comfort or clarity. You don't get both. Sooner or later, you must choose who leads your life. Asterisk, here's the truth that sets you free. You don't need to fit the world. You need the strength to walk through it without shrinking. Depth will never be popular. Never easy. Never instantly rewarded. But it's the only way to stay alive inside. So stop trying to be understood by everyone. Be understood by the right few. Choose where to spend your depth. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Silence is also intelligence. Train your mind daily. Read difficult things
Write your thoughts. Sit in silence. Think without distraction. Clarity is a muscle. If you don't train it, the world weakens it for you. Find your tribe. One conscious person is worth more than 100 superficial ones. And most importantly, stop asking permission to be who you are. You're not too intense. You're simply not built for shallow waters. Some people entertain the world. Others understand it if you stayed until the end. You already know which one you are. So here's your commitment. Comment the word lucid. That's the password. Proof that you choose awareness over comfort. From now on, you don't think less. You think better. And you never shrink again.